Here we go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome in on a Tuesday. Hammer and Nigel, they're bad influences. Am I the bad influence, or is Hammer and Nigel the bad influence? Sometimes I kind of wonder if I'm the bad influence. Maybe I am the bad influence.
I think it's a bit of both.
Do you think so? Yeah. Yeah, we have meetings. You guys may not know this, and I know what you're going to say, a lot of you, because you're going to view this politically speaking. I view it as friendship. That's how I view everything in my life, as friendship, how I get along with you, how you get along with me. I don't give a damn about political views, and I'm sure as hell never, ever going to let that get in the way of friendship, because I think that's most important. Connections, friendship. At least it's most important to me. It may not be with you, and, you know, if that's how you roll, then that's how you roll. I've always viewed them, we have meetings before we go on every day. When I'm in studio, like tomorrow I'm going to be on the road, Thursday and Friday on the road, but when I'm in studio, because we're right across the hall, we have so-called meetings, and those are meetings where you have to shut the door, and they're bad influences. Yeah, make sure that they know this, that I believe that they're a bad influence, and they'd probably counter with, no, you're the bad influence. It's all good. All right, the capper on week number 3 of the NFL season. You're going to love today, too, because Boomer Esiason is going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. 6 years of watching Daniel Jones play quarterback with the Giants. And I don't know if there's anybody out there that would have more of a grasp on Daniel Jones then for 6 years and 20 games under 500, and Daniel Jones in the first 3 games here. So I think it was late last week, or maybe it was even over the weekend, I'd mentioned to James here, I said, hey, see if we can get Boomer Esiason on. Yeah, Boomer has done basically everything there is to do. And he's on The Fan, that legendary station in New York. I think it is Boomer and Geo. I don't know what the hell Geo is, but I know Boomer. He used to be with Craig Carton, and you know how that went. But the former NFL quarterback who probably has as good of an opinion, an accurate opinion of Daniel Jones before and now than anybody out there. And Boomer is going to join us coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. We shall discuss that of Daniel Jones. And where Daniel Jones, I don't really care where he has been. I just care about where he is and what he's doing. And hopefully that continues. Like people all the time say, hey, you know what? You're going to end up being wrong about this. I don't give a crap if I am wrong about this. Holy hell, great. I'm glad I will be wrong. Hopefully I am wrong. Yeah, I want to fire everybody in January. Get rid of everybody. Just go ahead and wash the whole situation down and move a different direction. I was all for it in January. But if you don't have to, and if you win, and you can bring back the enthusiasm and the trust in Colts fans around here, more power to you. I don't give a damn who the quarterback might be. But Daniel Jones has been very good through the first 3 games. The most common thought that I get is, well, hold on a minute. You got to pump the brakes. Here's the other thing, too. I'm not pumping anybody's brakes. I'm not pumping mine or yours or anybody. You want to know why? Because mediocrity or less has been the norm around here for more than a handful of years. I'm sick of pumping the brakes. We don't pump the brakes when we criticize. So as of right now, he and they are playing consistently as well as we have seen them. regardless of the teams they have faced that have one win between all three. Who cares? They're doing what they're supposed to do. And they're doing it at a level for the first time in a long time. So I'm okay if you live in the moment and you celebrate that. I was watching Monday Night Football last night, and in particular watching the Manning cast. I do like Jeff Daniels a great deal. You know, most people are going to say, hey, do you remember him on Newsroom? Everybody felt that that was like a political statement. It was an Aaron Sorkin project on HBO. I thought it was well done, per usual. Anything Aaron Sorkin's going to be well done. But Dumb and Dumber, classic for everybody. It's funny, I don't view that as classic as everybody else. But, yeah, Jeff Daniels over the years has been absolutely outstanding as an actor, and he is really good at talking up sports. So I enjoyed that a great deal last night. And people were, like, reaching out to me and saying, hey, you know, Daniel Jones is going to be on, and Michael Phelps is going to be on. He's a noted Ravens fan. That's fine. So I was watching Daniel Jones, and it was odd because Daniel Jones with the Mannings, he knows them very well, as they documented. I thought maybe we would see a little bit more personality, and people were saying, you know, what about this personality? And I have to remind people, I don't care. You don't care. In unison, we don't care. He's a good dude. How does he play quarterback? Yeah, we'll talk about great personalities on TV in front of the cameras and in performances later. You can worry about that later. I want to see this group win, and I want to see them have a quarterback. I want to see them land the quarterback of the future. I want to see them be able to make up for the number 4 overall selection. I want to see them in the right direction for the first time in forever. So that's what matters to me. And I always think that something in these Manning casts kind of gets lost in the fact that a lot of these guys are doing it on Zoom. I know this to be true, and I do Zoom every week with Fox 59 and 59 Overtime. Sometimes shirtless, sometimes with a shirt, most of the time, if not all the time, without pants. It's a beautiful thing. The one deal that COVID presented is the simple fact that when I do 59 Overtime, I don't have to haul ass all the way to the northwest side and 71st Street to, like, do something with Chris Hagan and Phil and Brett and the gang up there. I can do it from my living room. I can set up my phone camera on a bar stool and sit in front of my fireplace, and James put a globe behind me, which automatically everybody assumes I'm really smart. Hey, there's a globe behind me, so this guy must be smart. That's how I'm fooling you. I'm not smart whatsoever. I'm maybe the dumbest person you know, but damn straight, I've got a globe behind me, so James, I look smart.
You need to go to a thrift shop and get like a little marble bust of some random guy. Just put it on the mantle behind you.
I think the globe almost works, though. It's like, hey, here's a globe. This guy's smart.
He's worldly.
Worldly and smart. But that's the one thing that COVID has brought. I mean, it sucked, and I hated every second of it, and there are still ramifications we have to deal with today, I'm sure. But the one thing that came out of that is the fact that I don't have to drive to the northwest side of Indy every Sunday to do that, and I can just kind of do it wherever I want. I can do it at my house in front of the Globe and Zeke the cat. There is a video out there of Zeke the cat. That's my daughter's Lainey. That's her cat. Where I'm on Fox 59. I have no idea I'm on Fox 59, and Zeke the cat is like swinging from the mantle at my head above me. I had no idea he was up there. And they go, hey, you know your cat was trying to hit you. And what happened was I guess he got a little bit overzealous in trying to hit me, and he fell off the mantle. And then I put it to Toad the Wet Sprocket and fall down. It was pretty funny. But I do like doing Fox 59. And I do like doing Fox 59 at home. So I can do it at my house. I can do it at Paradise Day Watson in the backyard. I mean, it's a hell of a time. That's the only redeeming quality for me from COVID is that. But it's funny, you watch the Manning cast last night, and for Daniel Jones, most of the time it looked like he wasn't hearing them very well. And a lot of people said, hey, this guy's personality, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about his personality. What I care about is how he plays quarterback. What I care about is what this team does this season and then them finding a quarterback, because it has been so damn long without a quarterback, and we've seen the results of without a quarterback. You know how much better this is right now? And I don't care if you're pumping the brakes on it. Pump the brakes on it. I'm not going to pump the brakes on it. I'm going to be excited when they win and disgusted when they lose. That's the nature of this game. But it's a hell of a lot better when they win. And when you think that you believe that you have a quarterback, that is a much better space. Like, I'll talk to Boomer Esiason a little bit later on and bring up the space that occupies both the Jets and the Giants right now. What do they know about this situation? Zero. Jackson Dart now is going to get the start. Russell Wilson out, the rookie Jackson Dart in. What do they know about their situation? And that's how Colts fans, that's how you have lived for the last handful of years, and it wears you out. And especially it wears you out when you know how it is when you have something. You know how it feels when you have something, and it magnifies the bad feeling when you don't. There's no other position, no other sport like football at quarterback that magnifies what you don't have like that. And you know how that feels. So if you don't want to pump the brakes and you want to get excited about it, get excited about it. I'm not going to stop you. Shout out to my good friend Zach Myers, who says, spot on with the globe. The only place I've ever seen a globe is in a classroom or a library. Seriously, there are a lot of you out there that know me, and that's awesome. And you know that I'm not the brightest bulb in the pack. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'll let that be known. I just tell everybody that. You know, the one thing that I've always known about me is the only place I'm bright is I know that what I don't know, right? So that's it. But when you put a globe behind you, it's like, hey, no matter what he's saying right now, this guy must have the smarts real good because he's got a globe behind him. Thank you, Zach, from Fox 59. But back to last night and Daniel Jones, that part doesn't matter to me whatsoever. And this season moving forward, this is the game of the year until further notice. This is going to be the most accurate gauge of what you get, what you see, what you believe in this team coming up on Sunday. And the Rams may not be the best team in the NFL. I think they can rep with some luck here or there in the NFC deep into the postseason. I think they're that talented on both sides of the football. But I think they come along at the perfect time for this Colts team to find out exactly early this season who they are. To end the month of September knowing kind of what you should know. Maybe you don't with the Dolphins. Maybe you don't with the Titans. And maybe you view the Denver win as more as good fortune than anything else. This is, at least early on the season, going to, I think, gauge where this group might be right now. And I know you look at last weekend and the Rams dealt with a massive disappointment, but they were right there, ready to hand the Eagles their first loss of the season in Philadelphia. And then special teams screwed the pooch a number of times for the Rams. But on either side of the football, this is as solid a group as you're going to come across, and really the best test you're going to find. Because I don't think the Raiders nor the Cardinals coming up are going to give you that test. It's certainly the best test you're going to find until you go back to Southern California and face the Chargers. And good fortune is a part of it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the whole Denver game-ending situation is good fortune. I'll take good fortune. And this is a conversation we're going to have with Boomer Esiason as well. When you're a good team and you see solid results, positive results, oftentimes good fortune rides along with you. I say all the time, it rides shotgun with good teams, and for good reason. We'll talk about that coming up. Boomer Esiason in the 5 o'clock hour. Jake Arthur is going to join us from WTHR.com and Locked On Colts. And round table something or other, right, James? What is Jake Arthur's round table something? But it's good stuff. We like Jake a great deal. For those of you that are asking whatever happened to the PFF guys on Tuesday, I don't have the damnedest idea what happened. I blame myself, though, for saying, hey, you nerds, and this.
Well, every time we'd have one on for the season, at the end of the season, they would get a new gig or something and then move on.
I blame PFF more than I blame us.
I also blame PFF because they're the ones that reached out to me. And
I liked them.
They have vanished.
I liked having them on. Well, we got to start giving, what's his nuts again, from Covers a shot.
Oh, yeah. I've already been reaching out to him earlier today, actually.
Because we also deal with, even though I'm not the most profound bettor in the world, we do Larceny Bourbon Locks and Luna Azul Tequila Shots. So Jason Logan of Covers.com has always been really good on the show. We got to start doing that more.
We potentially will have him on either later this week or sometime next week.
I like it. Great deal. But Jake Arthur has assumed the position midweek on this show, and we appreciate that. He's been very good. Mike Hilton in the fold. Kenny Moore, man, I'm telling the calf stuff freaks me out. Because I have a calf. Like, I've just told you straight out, and like everybody around here gets pissed when I say it. They go, I'm going to be so, like Jeff Rickard came up to me today, James, and he goes, hey, you know what? I'm going to rip you so bad because all you do is talk about your Achilles and you never do anything about it and you don't back away from it. I'm 55. I'm not backing away from anything. I'll back away when I'm done. We're going to push it, and we're going to push it to the limit while we're able to push it to the limit. But at some point, I'm going to be screwed, and I'm probably going to screw people around here because I'm going to be injured. But when you look at the calf and soft tissue, that worries me. And I know the last time Kenny Moore and I had a conversation, remember he challenged me on HIPAA, which was funny. And everybody thought that Kenny Moore and I had a problem. We didn't have an issue, didn't have a problem. But that concerns me a little bit, the calf.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't blame you with how things have been around here with calf injuries and that whole area of the body. I think we're all a little traumatized and have a little bit of PTSD with that.
I will tell you, however, from a Colts angle, this has been like the most healthy a team that I can remember. So I'm going to ride it. Yeah, it was funny, though. Kenny Moore and I conversation. Like, I was on my way home, and this was up in Westfield at Colts camp. I was on my way home, and everybody was ripping me. Oh, man, Kenny hates you. And then Kenny ended up sending out a social media post on X. Do you like JMV? It was pretty funny. He's actually, you know this to be true, he's an incredibly good dude. But calf injuries, I know it's calf. The calf is connected with the Achilles. That scares me a little bit, James.
How long do you think it's going to be before people around here cannot be terrified of Achilles injuries anymore?
Right around never, buddy.
Never?
Right around never. I think just injuries in general, when you think about it, you go all the way back to the Manning neck and then the whole luck stuff and the lack of transparency and then trying to be transparent and then you're too late with it. And then now nobody really believing what you're talking about in terms of injuries. I think it's always going to have a profound impact around here. There's no way around it.
That is fair. I will say, though, it looks like, at least for the Colts in the NFL, it looks like the 49ers have taken the Colts' bad injury luck because they are getting hammered.
Hammered. And the Colts have been down that path before. But through the first 3 weeks of the season, my friends, the Colts have themselves a quarterback. Rejoice. We'll talk about that with Boomer Esiason coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Jake Arthur, Locked On Colts, WTHR.com after 4. Hey, Greg Rakestraw, we got full-scale high school football conversation. You know, the other thing that stands out to me, and I'm sure this probably happens all the time and we don't document it in the fashion in which I'm doing right now, there seems like just an incredible amount of football injuries on the high school level right now. Yeah, we'll talk about that. IU on the road at Iowa City versus the Iowa Hawkeyes coming up on Saturday as well. Mike Gundy, I'm a man, I'm 40, gets the gate at Oklahoma State a little bit earlier today. One of the greatest sound bites of all time. James will have to recollect that over the course of the show. I'm a man, I'm 40. All about an article that he didn't like. What was that, 2008? 2007? How far back do we go from Mike Gundy?
Looks like 2007.
2007, that tirade. He probably thought he was the former quarterback there in Stillwater, probably thought he was going to have that job forever, and alas, he does not have that job forever. So college football conversation, Greg Rakestraw coming up as well. For those of you, and I have mentioned this before, but there is a flight, I think, late afternoon on Saturday that goes to L.A., and then there's a return flight on Sunday night. For those that are thinking about, or maybe you're on that flight and going to Southern California to see the Colts and the Rams on Sunday, we're going to do this again because I was surprised about how many people actually are going to be there. We gave away Bullseye event group passes to somebody from San Diego yesterday, the listeners of the show, and then somebody here locally. But again, I'll state, we'll give away Bullseye event group passes for their Rams VIP tailgate, which is right across the lake from SoFi in Southern California on Sunday. So when I give you the cue to call, if you're going to Southern California, we'll give you a chance to win those. But again, don't jack with me and say, I don't want you trying to win something for the sake of trying to win something if you're not going. Going to be a great party. That is a great place out there in Southern California, too. We'll do that. Heart tickets also coming up in the Harrah's Leisure Park race of the day. The stream, the app, HD Radio, the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live. Shout out to my guys, Matt and Matt, for being awesome per usual. And if you're not a AAA member yet, what are you doing? Become a AAA member today. AAA.com or stop by a AAA office near you. Greg Rakestraw coming up on a Tuesday, bottom of the hour. Jake Arthur still to come, and Boomer Esiason after 5 in a can't-miss conversation. The stream, the app, HD Radio, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
JMV.
Smokey, this is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
A commanding lead opportunity in the semifinals of the WNBA postseason later on tonight. 9:30 tip time, 9:15. Eddie Garrison's got you covered. The Fever in Vegas. Shout out to Kelsey Mitchell, best player on the floor, even with the MVP on the floor. And the best player on the Fever squad, certainly. A commanding lead opportunity in that best-of-5 semifinal is later on this evening. Again, 9:30 tip time, 9:15 your coverage begins. Eddie Garrison has your pregame show here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. This reminder, too, tomorrow, Pickle on Penn. I want everybody to join me. I'm actually going to play. I'm going to get there early and play, and then I'm going to drink some beer during the show, and then I'm going to play again after. And I've never played pickleball in the history of my existence. All right. And I'm sorry, I do kind of view it as, all right, how hard can this possibly be? We'll see how I feel coming up tomorrow, but I want you guys to join me. I'm going to be in the kitchen at Pickle on Penn. It is the premier pickleball and enjoyment destination location in central Indiana on a Wednesday. Think about all this level of enjoyment you're going to have on a Wednesday. Pickle on Penn in Carmel with me tomorrow. I want to make sure everybody is there. And, yeah, I'm going to get there early. I'm going to try to get there between noon and 12:30 and play a little bit, too. So I'll see you then. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, Greg Rakestraw, who joins us now. It has been one hell of a high school football season to this point. If you're going to match up right now just for, and I know that Crown Point also wasn't unbeaten. I know Penn is also unbeaten. But just locally speaking in 6A, Brownsburg and Cinder Grove, through these 5-0 starts, how do you weigh one or the other to this point of the season, Greg?
I would give a slight edge to Brownsburg just because they're the defending champs and because they are very deep and return like every key piece offensive. They had a 2-quarterback system last year. They're playing Oscar Fry the entire way this year. We had them last week against Avon, put up 55. Fishers has been playing well. They put up 42 on them. So I'm not sure anybody is as good offensively as Brownsburg. But, John, what I've said about Brownsburg, I think rings true still. I think they're the best team in the state, but I think there's at least a couple of teams in the area that, can beat them on a given Friday. Center Grove is one of them. Carmel is the other. And I'll lump Crown Point in there too. There is a chance that we get to the semi-state in 6A, and there are 4 teams that have not lost to anybody else in the state of Indiana, because Carmel's lone loss was at Trinity a couple of weeks ago in Louisville. Now, Penn would be in Crown Point's path, I think, in the regional. I know LN would be in Brownsburg's path in the regional. And I know that Warren Central, who has now won 4 consecutive games, they would be in Center Grove's path in the regional. So it's not a done deal that those 4 teams make it to the semi-state. But just kind of the way things shape up this year, we could have maybe the best combined record that we've seen in now the 13, 14 years of 6A football in terms of the teams left in the regional round and the semi-state round as well.
It's Greg Rakestraw. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I probably should give more credit where credit is due for Northwest Indiana and Northern Indiana, but I always just kind of think we're here in this bubble of, all right, you have to kind of prove it a little bit too until further notice, if you know what I mean.
And that's fair. And, when Crown Point got Westfield and they were building the semi-state 2 years ago, they won. And to Crown Point's credit, they tried to get, and I'm not – it escapes me who they played in week 1, but they played Pike in week 2 and beat Pike 21-0. And Pike is a good team, but Pike is not a great team. But it's still better competition than Indianapolis competition. And, again, there's only so much you can do when you're a 6A school in football and you're outside of the Indianapolis area, because you have 7 conference games you've got to play, and Crown Point plays a lot of good football teams, but they are primarily, in 5A, and there's not much you can do around it. Heck, the Fort Wayne schools used to play a 10-game or 9-game league schedule. We had 10 teams, And they have altered that to allow Carroll and Homestead and Snyder to try to play other teams from the Indianapolis, other parts of the state to go and replicate what they would see in later rounds in the postseason. So Crown Point has been good enough, long enough, where they merit to be in the conversation. But frankly, you know, I'm a USA Today poll voter, an AP poll voter, and I don't mind telling people this. You know, I voted Brownsburg 1, Center Grove 2. I put Crown Point 3 because, yes, I do weight them differently because the majority of their games are not in the Indianapolis area.
Well, I know CG2's like running through running backs, and a lot of players will say, and really, I mentioned this at the outset of the show, Greg. It seems like that this season I've heard about a lot more of significant injuries than I normally do. Is it basically the same, but maybe that's what we're talking about right now? But it does seem like that there are more right now in this season than what we have heard about or witnessed in the past.
So here's what I'll tell you. CG has been hit as hard by the injury bug as anybody. You know, Decatur Central lost Bull Polson to a shoulder injury, and he's going to play at the division level. He's their starting quarterback for each of the last 4 years, led them to the last 2 5A state championship games. I think of both Jeremy Finch, who is kind of on a pitch count but still played a good amount against Ben Davis. You know, Caleb Elkins, who really had only appeared in 1 game this year until this past week against Ben Davis. He is a junior. He had a visit to IU to give you an example as to, you know, the level of player he is. You are seeing, I would say, more injuries, but I would probably cite the same things that I would cite if you asked that question about why do we see so many injuries in the National Football League. Like, for example, I think I remember hearing about 3 injuries to all players on teams that are playing the Indianapolis Colts at some point in time this season. Like, you know, Connor is gone for the Arizona Cardinals. Harris is gone for the Los Angeles Chargers. Bose is gone for the Niners.
Yeah.
And they're all season-ending injuries. And I'd probably say the same thing. I would say it's probably overuse, and it's probably the number of games that have been racked up, especially for those guys, from the high school, college, and NFL level on. And I'd also say it's just, you know, we have hit such a crazy high level of athleticism. You wonder if there are moves and things that are done subconsciously that the human body wasn't meant to do at that speed and that level of ferocity, you know? So I don't have any intelligent data to back that up for you, John. But it's kind of the only common sense explanation I come up with at any level.
Well, and since we're in the common sense explanation category with Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, let me ask you this. I feel compelled, and I think about this. This is not the first week I've thought about it. Kyle Ralph's New Pal team in 6A, how would they fare?
I think they would be a top 10 team, and frankly, we're going to find out in a year or two because I think they're going to win 5A this year and do enough the following year in 5A to make their way back up, or not back up, but up to 6A for the first time. I think they're amongst the top 10 teams in the state. I think there is, again, there's rankings than how I would actually view the quality of teams. I would put Center Grove, Brownsburg, and Carmel, not necessarily in that order, in kind of a top 3. I would probably put Warren and LN right behind them. You've got Crown Point and Penn that are both unbeaten. I'd love to see Crown Point or Penn play New Pal. I think it'd be a really good game. So I would have no problem putting New Pal as a top 6 or 7 team in the state of Indiana. And frankly, I think they'd be competitive against any of those other 5 teams that I would even, quote, rank above them at this point.
It's Greg Rakestraw. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You know, normally I would start out the college football conversation and suggesting how bad it is when my Sycamores have given up, I think, 136 or so points in the past 2 weeks defensively. That is never good, but we're still steer clear of that. What do you think about number 11 Indiana, the way that they played against the 9th-ranked then Fighting Illini this past Saturday, and what is a road test that I don't even think it should be off the radar. Some people describe it that way, but against a tough team and a tough place to go, Kinnick Stadium on Saturday.
You know, this is the next test for Indiana, and not trying to give you the coach speak about the next game up, but legitimately, you know, Indiana answered so many questions on Saturday night because we said, hey, there's what happened last year. Hey, they look great. Hey, maybe that Old Dominion loss or the win wasn't so bad because then ODU went and beat Virginia Tech and got that coach fired. but we didn't know exactly what the 2025 Hoosiers were about. We do now. So now the next box they have to check is winning at a traditional Big Ten rival. And again, I think Iowa's good, not great, but it's simply a box that this group hasn't checked yet. So it is literally the next test. If they play anywhere close to as good as they played on Saturday night, then they will win handily in Iowa City, because that was close to perfection from the Indiana Hoosiers on Saturday night.
So Notre Dame at Arkansas. I look at that as face value in Fayetteville coming up this weekend. That seems like a difficult task. Is it as difficult as I believe sitting here?
Well, almost any SEC game on the road is going to be a difficult task, because it's the freaking SEC. But again, it's not unwinnable for Notre Dame. I think they're a good team, not a great team. I think they have to win out to be a college football playoff team. If not, then you're an 8 or 9 win team that's playing in kind of an also-ran bowl, and we kind of forget about you the rest of the season. Again, they're not bad. I don't think they are as good as they were last year, but, with Notre Dame, it's kind of an all-or-nothing proposition. So if you win, it's on to the next week. And if you lose, we'll start talking about 2026.
Greg, do you think that the Colts, you host a postgame show, we know this, it's been jovial for the first 3 weeks of the season, which is like 3 consecutive weeks of being jovial that you've not had in years, certainly, both you and Bill Brooks. But is Daniel Jones and his level of play, will that make people around here, Colts fans, forget the drafting of Anthony Richardson at number 4 overall? Will that always linger, or again, will this be a solution to that and make people forget more easily about it?
Winning is the ultimate deodorant, isn't it? It makes you forget about everything else. The asterisk that I would give about the 2023 quarterback draft class, it doesn't look, I'm not sure about anybody in that group right now. Because the one guy we had put ahead of everybody else was Stroud. The Texans are 0-3. Obviously, Bryce Young has kind of been sent to the bench and come back again, and the Panthers looked great on Sunday, but they're 1-2. They haven't played a meaningful football game in forever. The Titans have already moved on from Will Levis. I mean, some years the quarterback draft class just isn't that great, and sometimes your timing just isn't great. And so you kind of get to the end of that rotating line of quarterbacks at 2022, you crater out, and then it's like, all right, you got to draft a quarterback. And while it's the 4th pick that you had, it's the 3rd quarterback that was taken. And maybe that was a 1.5 quarterback draft class. And again, there's a lot of time for Anthony Richardson to correct this, because for all the issues that we thought Daniel Jones had coming into this season, he's in year 7, and he's playing the best football of his career. Anthony Richardson's at the beginning of year number 3. So let's not just cast him aside, whether it's here or someplace else, just yet. And again, frankly, I think if you're winning, you don't talk about anything else. You just talk about winning.
Greg, our Reds are tied with the Mets. I've never been more of a Cubs fan in my life than the way that they screwed the pooch against the Reds this weekend, and now they get the Mets. The Reds have a series at home against the Pirates and then a series to close out against the Brewers. Can they punch their ticket into the postseason?
They absolutely can. And let's hope what they did over the weekend against the Cubs continues. Now, I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, I promise. But you know how the NL Central usually works, right?
Right.
The team that has nothing to play for usually rises up and plays this amazing brand of baseball, because oftentimes that's been the Reds to ruin somebody else's season.
Yep.
So let's ignore that past history and hope that our Reds that can continue this momentum all the way into the postseason next week.
Have you played pickleball before?
I have not played pickleball. Can you quote South Park from memory? Did that kind of miss you? Were you never a South Park guy?
No, I was never a South Park guy. It's weird, too. People question me about that, but I never was.
That's all right. So the reason I bring that up is they did a show about professional wrestling 20-ish years ago, and there was a guy like the gym teacher that was an actual amateur wrestler, would just scream, "That's not real wrestling." Okay, I'm that guy as a tennis player about pickleball. I'm sure that I will be a convert to pickleball at some point, and probably sooner rather than later. But my big butt actually needs to run a little bit more from a fitness standpoint. And so I am still playing. I'll play tennis tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It's not you playing pickup hoop at 5, but it's close. I'll play Friday morning as well. And so I am trying. Nothing against pickleball. I'm trying to hold off and stay on the tennis court as long as I possibly can.
Understood. And by the way, a shout out to our birthday boy, Jack Rakestraw.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tell it the good boy we're thinking about him, and shout out to the mom too, and the whole.
Now
equation.
he's just trying to figure out when the next time he can vacation with John and Cape Sandblast with both the golf and the Olympic-sized pool might be.
You may not. Amy Rakestraw may not have bigger fans anywhere than this household.
let's go to the Indian Pass Raw Bar. Let's go. Come on. It's been 10 years. I got to the Iceland football shirt. Let's do this again for the World Cup. Let's go.
You got it, brother. I appreciate you.
See ya.
It's a Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We'll come back. I got time for your calls. You guys that want to work yourself in, you should. Jake Arthur, time for the hour. Boomer Esiason, and the evolution of Daniel Jones from somebody that would know probably better than anybody else out there. Boomer Esiason coming up after 5. Bullseye in Southern California. Hart in Fishers. Machine Gun Kelly, right?
MGK, yes.
MGK. I want to make sure I had that right. MGK, too. 5 o'clock hour. Harris Hoosier Park race of the day. Sit tight. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Greg Rakestraw, podcast 1075thefan.com. 38-20 last night. The Lions look really good. 17 in the fourth they put up. And Dan Campbell is Mr. Go for it on fourth down. He's right out of the catalog of what you might do if you're playing video games. Just go for it, no matter where you are on the field. No matter where you are, it is four-down territory. No matter where you are, it is four-down territory in terms of snacking. Win Schuler's spreadability. Once again, it's sweeping Central Indiana. Win Schuler's is back for the 2025 football season. You can find Win Schuler's Meyer locations. I've seen it. Greenwood. I know Avon, Muncie, Carmel. Meyer locations has the spreadability of Win Schuler's original sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, and jalapeno pepper. You make sure it's a part of whatever you're doing snacking this football season. And then also make sure you tell us where you find the spreadability of Win Schuler's. Win Schuler's spreadability today. All right. Somebody had asked me this. I want to make sure I get this on target here. JMV, you guys still giving away tickets for the tailgate party in L.A. this weekend. I'm surprising my husband for our anniversary, and we're headed out Thursday. He's done so much for not just myself, but our three kiddos. While I have had a terrible couple of years battling cancer, I am very excited to be able to surprise him. We're season ticket holders here, but he's never really had the chance to go out of state anywhere of distance to see his Colts team play. Yes, I want to make sure that I get some passes. Now, there's no name here. But once I find out the name, James, I'm going to get some passes out to the Bullseye Rams tailgate in Southern California this weekend, because I know there are a couple of flights that are out. I know some of you are going to go out there. So as we're thinking about it right now, James, I'm going to go ahead and get this person from the text line at 317-239-1070 and make sure that you're going. This is not for somebody that isn't going just because you want to win. If you're going to L.A. this weekend and you would like to attend the Bullseye Rams VIP tailgate right across the lake from SoFi, number 9 at 239-1070. This worked out great yesterday. We'll see if it can work out again well today. Number 9 at 239-1070. And you are going to go. Now, this is not airfare or tickets to the game. This is to the Rams VIP tailgate with Bullseye. Number 9 at 239-1070. You can go. You will want to be here in the 5 o'clock hour. Boomer Esiason is going to join us. He saw 6 years of Daniel Jones in New York. What is the difference according to Boomer Esiason? He'll tell us coming up after 5. Jake Arthur, Locked On Colts, WTHR.com, and more is going to join us coming up next. The Fever, Game 2, the WNBA semifinals in Vegas later on tonight. 9:15, Eddie Garrison has your coverage right here tonight. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Hour 2. Boomer Esiason after 5. Fisher's Event Center Heart tickets. MGK and Ruoff. Got tickets for you coming up in the 5 o'clock hour as well. This on the text line, 317-239-1070. Our text line, get right in. Seriously, give me some good content there. Brian in Carmel writes, hey, JMV, did you win fantasy? Damn right. I limped to the finish like you would not believe. I was still in doubt, and I think I played, was it Billy Gibson who I played, I think? Who's Billy with? Is Billy the one with the backyard decorative thing, whatever. Let me be all over that title. Decorative coating, or yes, is it that?
Premier Deck Coating?
No, that's me. That's Ron, Premier Deck Coating. Yeah. Anyway, he actually called in on the JMV Takeover on Saturday night and said, you better check your fantasy team. Now, I check. What I do is I normally wait because I'm doing the pregame show every Sunday, and I wait until all the inactives are in before I end up setting my lineup. So I was going to do it anyway, but he did remind me of it. My first win of the season with maybe the worst team of all time. And it keeps getting worse with injuries. It is awful. But I have won, and I feel good about that. Brian in Carmel, thank you very much. In Carmel tomorrow, Pickle on Penn. Can you guys all join me for that? We're going to be in a place called The Kitchen. Great food. I'm going to be enjoying, as you normally would suggest, because I'm a social consumer, some drinks, socially speaking. But now I'm going to play some pickleball tomorrow. I'm going to try to get up there in the noon hour and play a little bit. And then do the show and maybe play a little bit more afterwards. Pickle on Penn. And if you've been there, let me know, too. This is, I think, a great function of 317-239-1070 on the text line. If you've played pickleball at the premier pickleball venue, Pickle on Penn, I've heard from Laura Steele. She says it's fantastic. Let me know about Pickle on Penn. Steve Bodner, we are going to play a little pickleball and drink a little bit and have one hell of a time tomorrow. Cannot wait to see you guys. And that starts a string of 3 dates on the road. So tomorrow, Pickle on Penn in Carmel. Thursday, Slippery Noodle, Larceny Bourbon Locks, and Luna Azul Tequila Shots downtown. And Friday, Bud Light Blue Friday. Raiders and Colts tickets for you at Behringer's Tavern on South Meridian. Just a hellaciously awesome time. Cannot wait to see you. Pickle on Penn tomorrow. Let's play some pickleball together. How hard can this be? I play basketball all the time. How am I not going to whip everybody's ass? Seriously.
Were you ever any good at tennis?
I play tennis. I can play tennis, yeah.
Yeah, you might be pretty good at it then.
I can play. It's more kind of like ping pong, isn't it, than tennis?
I mean, it's kind of a mix between the two, it feels like at some points.
Yeah. Man, I hate to put it to you if you come up there and you play all the time and it's the first time I play and I have to... I can move a little bit though. I'm gonna wear my basketball gear because I don't want to tear or rip or anything.
Now, are you gonna wear the boot before you get on the court?
I wear the boot all the time. If I'm not playing, or I wear the boot. Boot wearer. It's Halliburton. He's out of the boot though. Do you think Halliburton ever wears the boot just for the sake of wearing the boot? Because I do. Sometimes I put. Is anybody out there? Any orthopedic surgeons? Is there any benefit to just wearing the boot when you wouldn't necessarily have to wear the boot.
Is it a comfort thing? Do you feel safer in
I just
it?
kind of feel like that I'm helping the cause a little bit. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. A new friend of the show with Locked On Colts with WTHR.com, and Jake Arthur's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. Jake, what is the other thing you're a part of with Kravitz again? Roundtable, what is it again?
Yep, we're on the Roundtable Network, Roundtable Sports.
Roundtable
Bob and I giving you all the Colts content.
Well done. I saw Bob in week 2 up in the press box, certainly, and you guys are doing a great job. You're doing a great job with us, and so's the quarterback, Daniel Jones. I got Boomer Esiason on the show coming up at the 5 o'clock hour just because of his background and perspective of being around Daniel Jones in New York and covering the Giants for the better part of 6 years. What's been your overall impression just beyond the results we have seen for the first 3 weeks of the season with Jones under center here?
Yeah, I think it's just really the fact that we're not really seeing any warts in his game come up. And all of the things he became notorious for in New York, like just none of that is really coming to fruition. And for a lot of us who kind of leaned Anthony Richardson coming in for all of the things he brought, Jones has kind of adopted a lot of that as well. So he's really bringing like the cerebral nature of the game to it. Like we're kind of we're starting to hear more and more about like, you know, how much of a football nerd he is and how demanding he is, and he just really doesn't turn it off. So he brings all that, but then physically, he's escaping sacks. You know, he's only been sacked twice in 3 games. He's ripping the ball to all areas of the field. Like the guy statistically, like a proven fact, was like last among quarterbacks in pushing the ball down the field coming into Indy, and now he's throwing it all over the yard. He's running a little bit. He's got a few rushing touchdowns. You know, he had a pretty decent output on Sunday. So there's just really been nothing yet to where you're like, oh, here it comes. It's crashing back down to earth. He's just been a complete player, and it's baffling because it's like, what the heck was going on in New York for him to look like that?
Jake Arthur's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, and I will counter with this. He's doing what they had hoped, but the other thing, he's not doing anything that is like eye-poppingly out of the ordinary, like stuff where you wouldn't necessarily equate that to him. He's just being a high-level quarterback in guiding a team, if that makes sense whatsoever. I mean, there's no like big, hey, this is only going to happen once in, you know, every 5 or so games. What he is doing is he is playing at a high level consistently, really no matter the competition, as we've seen so far.
Yeah, I'd say so. He's been a really great distributor, you know, spreading the ball around. You're getting a guy like Michael Pittman Jr. back involved in the game. But his awareness, I think, has been really good as well, and his ability to convert when it really matters, like if they're on the goal line or it's 3rd and long. You know, he had those 2 3rd and longs, I think, in the first half, the 29-yard pass to Josh Downs, and then kind of slipping a couple of sack attempts for like a 17-yard run on Sunday. So I think his awareness has been really good. But, yeah, I'm with you. He's not doing anything like otherworldly. Like when you watch, you know, vintage Aaron Rodgers or Peyton or Tom Brady, you could see you're like, oh, they're doing stuff that absolutely nobody else could do. But when I see it, I see kind of like a perfect marriage of what Shane Steichen is scheming up and Daniel Jones executing it like perfectly. You know, for as much as we all kind of poo-poo on the term system quarterback for guys, he's playing like a system quarterback but executing it so well.
Yeah, and my viewpoint was a little bit different because he's not doing anything to where, you know, a player, for example, an individual gets in a zone or on a run and does stuff, and then it looks like that just the, you know, everything's going to even itself out. It just looks like he is doing what is called to be done within the offense and doing that at a high level, which I think exactly what they thought they were going to get when they installed him as the starting quarterback, which, you know, for a lot of us, including myself out there, we were a little bit skeptical about.
Yeah, I think so, because it's not like it's just the passing game leading it. I think we're seeing kind of a masterclass in play calling by Shane Steichen, and Daniel Jones is just executing it really well. But I mean, that's how you see Jonathan Taylor is leading the league in rushing as well. It's just, again, kind of baffling how effective everything they've attempted has been, and they haven't even really gotten efficient in the red zone yet either. And they've just been kind of fine on third down so far. So like, there's still areas for them to improve. But yeah, it's totally well balanced. Like, they're running the heck out of the ball. They're protecting the passer. Daniel Jones is top 5 in pretty much every important passing metric. Like, it's pretty wild to see so far. And unfortunately, I think it's natural for us to just wonder when the other shoe drops, or what among all of this is going to kind of come back down to earth a little bit.
Well, this is a hell of a gauge coming up on Sunday, and we'll get to that with the Rams in just a second. But some of those areas of improvement you mentioned, and rightly so, the red zone, you kind of wonder about the calf situation. That is concerning of Kenny Moore. Mike Hilton came in and was signed as of yesterday. He was a player in the secondary that has history of Lou Anarumo and had tried out here and worked out here before. And the other aspect is, even though they had 4 sacks on Sunday, the lack of pressure or consistent pressure, is this something that you think that they're going to need to address at some point before the trade deadline, or is it something that they're hoping that they believe will just kind of evolve within their own team? Because it has to happen.
Yeah, I think they do really hope that it works itself out, but I'm pretty skeptical because you got a guy like Samson Ebukam, for example, that's 30 years old, coming off the Achilles, an entire missed year last year, and he's playing a lot of snaps, but he's like your second least productive pass rusher so far in terms of like his pass rush win rate and all of those things. JT Tuimoloau can't get on the field or even really be active. And it's pretty dependent on Laiatu Latu. Now, I know his numbers didn't pop on Sunday, but he did have like 4 or 5 pressures. He's got to start getting home for sacks too, because it's just like, getting pressure is great. That means you can kind of force quarterbacks into poor decisions and everything. But sometimes when you're facing a quarterback like Cam Ward or something, they can make kind of off-script plays and they can make it work. So eventually, whether it's Latu or Kwity Paye needing to step up, these guys have got to start getting to the quarterback and actually getting them to the ground, because, I mean, we saw it in week 2. They had only 5 pressures against Bo Nix, and they were all hurries. They didn't even hit him. We've seen in the last few years, that is one of the biggest issues with the defense, and leads to being one of the biggest problems you point to with the defense by the end of the year as to like why things didn't go their way, is you just can't go these long stretches without getting to the quarterback. It's just not sustainable. So to your point about the trade deadline, I don't know if they're looking at like a Trey Hendrickson thing or anything like that, but I do think it would be wise for them to be proactive to go get somebody, because all the moves that they've been making, it shows their intention to win right now. Like, they have not once shown that they want to rely on developing young guys and letting them fill the void. Anytime someone goes down, they are working out veterans. They're bringing in veterans to the practice squad to replace them. Like, they have every intention of winning right now. So they have a very clear issue with the pass rush, and so it'd probably be wise to get something done over the next month or so. Roundtable Network,
Locked On Colts and more, content creator Jake Arthur's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. We're all apprehensive when we hear about injuries around here, especially calf injuries. I want to get your thoughts on Kenny Moore and his calf situation, and how would you gauge that compared to concussion protocol for Alec Pierce? What do you think is more of an issue going into what is going to be their greatest test to date in L.A. coming up on Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, we've got to see how the injury report plays out, but I'm not really optimistic about either Kenny or Alec playing this week, just because with Kenny, they've already said, the reports at least have said it could be a couple weeks. They brought in Mike Hilton. So that kind of seems like an indicator that he's going to miss a little time. Now, Shane Steichen did say yesterday that IR is not really an option for them right now. So things could always change. I think, especially around here, like you mentioned with calf injuries, you kind of got to play it safe and make sure that thing is like ready to go and that it doesn't pose any risk to an Achilles or anything like that. And then as far as Alec Pierce goes, that one's interesting because I believe he's had a couple before. And I asked Shane about that. I was like, do you kind of have any like hard and fast rules about guys with a concussion history? And he said they're basically just going to kind of leave it up to both Pierce and the medical staff in general as to how he feels and how they want to proceed. It's not common for Colts players to come back and not miss any games when they have a concussion. So I do think the medical staff probably plays it a little safe. So that might mean that we see a little bit more A.D. Mitchell this week.
So Jake Arthur is with us. Stafford didn't have like a huge game this past Sunday in a loss in Philly, but he certainly did position that team to win on the road against the defending Super Bowl champions. And in special teams, they fell apart in massive areas. Between that and Puka Nacua, knowing what he did in his rookie season in Indy a couple of years ago, you know, Kyron Williams is certainly another advantage that they have. How do you view what the Colts are going to match up against offensively with the Rams on Sunday?
Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, Stafford is just so heady, and he gets rid of the ball very quickly. You mentioned that game against Philadelphia. It wasn't like a gaudy stat line, but he doesn't – their pass blocking isn't great, but he still doesn't get sacked a ton because he does get rid of the ball so quick. But you look, he targeted Puka Nacua 15 times against the Eagles. They connected 11 times on that. It just goes to show Stafford is not going to always try and get cute with it. Like, if he knows what to do and what's working, he's going to attack it. And that kind of worries me if, you know, if let's say Kenny Moore doesn't play on Sunday, whoever's out there, if they're just going to try and feed Puka the ball just like they did against the Eagles. The Rams are one of those teams where they're willing to win ugly. They're kind of a by any means necessary type of team. And Stafford can have just a poor game overall, but once you get to the fourth quarter, he's been one of the best fourth quarter quarterbacks in NFL history. So he's someone who I don't know how you attack him without an effective pass rush other than just trying to make things as confusing as possible schematically on the defensive side of the ball. Like, throw a bunch of different looks at him and then change them right at the snap, like they've been kind of able to do, like against Tua, for example. Because Tua was a veteran, but they really confused him in week one. So maybe you can do that against Stafford a little bit. It certainly helps for Charvarius Ward to be back because you don't have to rely on Xavier Howard and Mekhi Blackman. But it does worry me a little bit if Kenny Moore is not able to play against a quarterback like Stafford.
So Jake Arthur right there, content creator for Roundtable Network covering the Colts, along with Locked On Colts and WTHR. And Jake is right there on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, quickly in closing, do you expect the Colts to be 3-0, looking for 4-0 going into Week 4?
Yeah, I don't have enough reason to bet against them right now. I would, you know, I'd give them a victory of 2 or 3 points. I don't see why not. The Rams aren't one of those teams that are a juggernaut, but I could see it being ugly. It could be a game where they win like 20-17 or something like that. But we got to ride this wave, man. The Colts are playing good football. We got to stay optimistic, right?
Got to feel good about it. I want fans to feel good about it because they've had so little to feel good about it over the years, certainly in the short-term past or in a handful of years. They can feel good about this. Hey, Jake, I appreciate you as always, man. We'll do it again soon.
Absolutely. Appreciate you. Jake
Arthur on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So Greg tells me, James, that wearing a boot when you don't have an injury weakens the muscles of your lower leg. So I'm really smart.
Sounds like you need to ditch the boot then.
I am really smart. Thank you. JMV, the text line's 317-239-1070 from Jim in Noblesville. Daniel Jones is a good to very good professional NFL quarterback that is benefiting from an excellent offensive line and so far weak defenses. If the offensive line can continue to play at the level which they are, he should be far more than sufficient to take the Colts into the postseason. Of course, hopefully everyone stays relatively healthy. JMV, when Boomer is on, blow him some blank for 2 years in a row on Boomer and Gio on the Fan. They just look past the Pacers, and they're always looking at the next round. Just hilarious. Pacers kick their ass now. Jones doing well makes New York our blank in a big way. That's from Ben. That seems like a lot of stuff I should bring up. Thank you. JMV, I have not been to Pickle on Penn to play pickleball, but the food is excellent. We'll be in the kitchen there coming up tomorrow. The kitchen is their place. But I'm going to play some pickleball and drink some beers. I asked the question, the first time I've ever played pickleball will be tomorrow, and I kind of question how I'm not going to be at least decent at it. And this response comes in from Matt, you will get killed if you're new to pickleball. So evidently I'm going to get killed tomorrow. JMV, Mike in Brooklyn, looking forward to hearing Boomer. He's from Long Island, New York. I don't listen to his show, but I know from his playing days we share a childhood football idol. That is Burt Jones, both wearing the number 7. I'm curious if he still has any Colts fandom. Maybe you can remember to ask Mike in Brooklyn, who was always good. JMV, I have played at Pop. That is Pickle on Penn, also known as Pop. It's great, and the food at the kitchen is delicious. I'd love to play with you after the show Thursday. Hey, the show, Colleen, is tomorrow. We're there live tomorrow. Unless you want to play after my show on Thursday and me go up there. I'll be there tomorrow. Pickle on Penn tomorrow for everybody. Join me there in Carmel. All right, James, quick break and we'll come back. Evidently me wearing the boot when I can't say that there's not an injury because there is an injury, but I do probably wear it more than I should. JMV, Daniel Jones is doing amazing Super Bowl bound. All right, some more bullseye Rams tailgate passes if you're going to Southern California. It's a Kyle Kinnett idea right there. That coming up for you. Heart tickets at the Fishers Event Center. And, of course, we have MGK tickets to give away as well. Fever looking to take a big-time hold on that semifinal round of the WNBA playoffs in Vegas later on tonight. 9:30 tip time. Eddie Garrison has you covered at 9:15. Your calls on the other side, if you're on hold. Matthew, Kelly, and more at 239-1070, 317-239-1070. That is the text line, the AAA Membership Lounge. Matt and Matt would advise you to become a AAA member. Do that today at AAA.com. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Most metal
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, so that was Stranger Things and Metallica, right? They were playing Master of Puppets and Stranger Things during that scene?
That is correct.
So it's a whatever weekend on B105.7 this weekend for me. So I love the whatevers. That's always the most popular. And I'm thinking I need to play some Metallica. Which Metallica song should I play on the JMV Takeover Saturday night? James, go!
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, Master of Puppets is always a good one.
I have played Enter Sandman, Sad But True.
Those are two great ones.
And One?
One is a good one.
I played One.
Those three might be the three. For Whom the Bell Tolls is a good one as well. For Whom the Bell Tolls is always a classic.
I love Sad But True, such a great song.
It is. The whole Black Album, really, you could probably go with.
How about anything from Saint Anger? No?
I don't know
people
about
don't
that
like
one.
that, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like Lars is hitting a turned over trash bin, so it's not the greatest album in the world.
It's JMV Takeover Saturday night is a whatever. We get down a little bit with some. That probably is the most popular of the weekends. And the 80s right there, too. Hey, tomorrow's show, The Kitchen at Pickle on Penn. Pickle on Penn is where you play pickleball, the premier pickleball location. The Kitchen, open to the public, Carmel's newest restaurant, top floor of Pickle on Penn, serving elevated American cuisine. And a shout out to our friend Maddie Pritchard, giving us a lot of love. We're going to be there tomorrow. I'm going to play pickleball, drink some beers, do this show inside the kitchen at Pickle on Penn. And shout out to Steve Bodner for having us tomorrow. I cannot wait, and I want to make sure everybody gets there with us, and you can play pickleball with me. You can drink beers with me. Rick Monteith checks in. I've played several times at Pickle on Penn. Really nice facility. I will see if I can stop by and hit some balls with you tomorrow. That'd be great, Rick. How hard can it be? Yeah, no. I'm probably writing some checks that my ass can't cash. I just think I can move around because I move around all the time. I'm 55, still play basketball all the time, and I play hard. James Boyd can tell you I run the floor like crazy. It's not like I'm 55 when I'm out there, but this could be drastically different. All right, 239-1070 is that number. You got the text line at 317-239-1070 as well. And Matthew is going to start this Tuesday afternoon. Hello, Matthew.
Hey, how's it going, John?
Great, Matthew. Go ahead. Thanks for the call.
Hey, I want to say I had a great time at the thing the other day, the Blue Friday event.
Oh, this is Hovey. Hovey, what's up, buddy?
Not much, you?
Good. No, you did a great job at
Hey,
Twin
I
Peaks
got
on
something
Friday.
For you.
Okay.
I got something new for everyone. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
For this week.
I'm ready.
Buddy, you're a Colt. Make some noise in the stands. Shout it real loud with the horseshoe in your hands. Blue and white pride. Andy's got the fight. Gonna bring thunder on a Sunday night. Singing, we are Colts fans. Colts fans. We are Colts fans. Colts fans. We in the Rams house. Better watch where you stand, because the Colts are coming with strongest game plan. Taylor's running wild. Pittman catching high. Jones is our feature, and he's gonna fly. Screaming, we are Colts fans. Colts fans. We are Colts fans. Colts fans. Defense in your face. Never giving up the ground. Buckner bringing pressure, making that sound. Secondary tight. Rams better beware. And he's got the stampede. Better say your prayers for him. We are Colts fans. Colts fans.
Hey,
we are Colts fans.
Hey, Matthew, Nigel from Hammer and Nigel's out in the hallway. Absolutely enjoy. I think he's taping this performance in the hallway right now on his phone.
Blue's our color, white's our name.
Wait.
Lucas Oil's the home of the game. Raise your voice and clap your hands. Sunday belongs to the Colts fans. We are Colts fans. Colts fans. We are Colts fans. Colts fans. Gonna beat the Rams, yeah, that's the plan.
This guy's a genius, man.
A
lyrical genius.
Hey, Matthew. Hey, stop for 1 second. Here's a little bit of advice. We love Nigel. Heard you in the hallway. Nigel, what do you think about his song? Go ahead. Talk right.
I can't hold myself together to make a comment right now.
Nigel loves your song.
Can I call it the Hammer
Yes,
and Nigel
you
show
can
and do
absolutely.
this?
I think you should call the Hammer and Nigel show right now. A matter of fact, right now, and sing the song on the. Hey, Matthew, I will give you, if you're okay with it, I'm going to give you one word of advice. Okay, is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So I've kind of that was about as long as a Meatloaf song right there. So if we got to shorten it up just a little bit because we live in a world of very short attention spans, Matthew. So shorten the tune. Yeah, shorten it up just a little bit. But call Hammer and Nigel because they're waiting on you right now to call and do that Colts song on their show. Okay, buddy?
Hey, thanks for having me, and I look forward to maybe seeing you this Friday.
Okay, Matthew, thank you very much. That is Matthew Hovey calling Hammer and Nigel right now. Call them, Matthew. They're waiting right now. I think that's as good as anything that Hammer's come up with over there.
We just have everybody dropping their songs on this show, don't we?
Listen, it's just me. That was almost like a rock opera.
That was.
That was very Meatloaf-like.
It was a concept album.
And we have a short attention span in our world today, and you got to shorten that content up, Matthew. Kelly's at 239-1070. I don't know if Kelly has a song about pickleball. Maybe it's just a comment. Kelly, hello.
Well, hello, John, Michael.
Hello, Kelly. How are you?
I'm well. I got to be honest with you. There's a whole new demographics for you to come play pickleball. You're going to love it. I mean, I can even do a short little ditty if you want me to, but I don't think I can beat the guy you just had on.
Listen, we're all ears if you got something
the
special.
Red carpet treatment with that Mr. Steve Bodner in the house. I mean, come on. Going to Pickle on Penn? I mean, yeah, it's the most beautiful place on earth.
Kelly, you're going to be there tomorrow?
You know I am.
That's wonderful, Kelly. Thank you very much.
With the red carpet right out for you. Do you want to hear the song?
Why not? I mean, hell, it's like America's Got Talent right here on a Tuesday on this show. Go ahead.
All right. We are Pickle on Penn. You've heard so much about mothers let their sons up whenever we go out. King Solomon's mine. We're raiders of the night. We'd rather think, maybe drink, or pickle all night. Done. That's it. I kind of winged it. Pickle on Penn can't wait to have you.
Did you just make that up off the top of your head? That's pretty good.
You know, it's kind of like maybe a sorority song, but, just change the words a little bit.
All right, Kelly, I can't wait
you got a whole new demographic coming for you.
Yes, I need a whole new demographic. I do. I need a new layer, another layer to the demographic, Kelly. So bring them, okay?
You have no idea what your mother would be proud. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. So just.
Like, am I going to be thrilled with what happens tomorrow? Like, eye-poppingly thrilled? Is that what you're saying, Kelly?
I'm honestly going to tell you on a scale of 5, you're going to have at least a 13 to 17.
I can't wait. I need a good 13.
Oh, that red carpet will be out for you, and Pickle on Penn awaits. So does its amazing members, and we just can't wait. So
I cannot. Well, Kelly, I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
I can't wait to see you, sir. Have a great day.
Kelly's going to be at Pickle on Penn tomorrow. And this reminder that Daniel's Vineyard will be on site at the kitchen tomorrow during the show. And yeah, Nigel just asked me if that was Matthew. I think Matthew just immediately called Hammer Nigel.
That's awesome. I hope he
said,
does.
Yeah, Matthew, hustle up and call him right now. Do it right now.
I hope he does the full extended track for them as well.
That was like the extended remix.
That was.
Yeah. He just kept going. Yeah.
He had all the verses ready to go.
All right, Daniel's Vineyard tomorrow. Who's a big fan of Daniel's Vineyard? They're going to be in the house with us in the kitchen tomorrow at Pickle on Penn. Daniel's Vineyard. Nick the Quaker says, hey, JMV, pickleball is an Achilles injury waiting to happen. Be careful out there. Hey, listen, my whole existence is an Achilles injury waiting to happen. I've been prepped for it for a while. I think that's the only way. You think that if I pop my Achilles, you think Halliburton will come on this show? We can compare. That's what's gonna, because I know it's coming.
Brothers in boots.
Oh man, you should see like Jeff and Todd. Not so much Todd, but Jeff got all over me today. He goes, man, you got to do something about that. I'm going to be so mad. He actually said pissed. I'm going to be pissed if you do that and you have to miss time.
I mean, what could you realistically do about it to prevent it other than just staying
go to the
off
doctor
of it
would
and letting it
probably
heal?
be a smart move.
Oh.
Yeah, I haven't done that. Self-diagnosis is what I'm all about.
WebMD?
Yes. Shout out to Matthew, who just called Hammer and Nigel. JMV, is probably too early to say, but because Daniel Jones' ability to read the field before the snap and make the correct offensive call, he is an elite quarterback. Others would be a lot wise to learn the possibility. That's from Mike. I will say this. Yeah, and I don't know about, he's played elite level in leading this team through the first 3 weeks. And if you know this to be true with the Colts in recent history, there hasn't been a lot of what they have said that has turned out to be accurate. I think that's fair to say. But with Daniel Jones, that is one thing that will stand out as being 100% accurate. Because if you remember, Shane Steichen had mentioned they're looking at Daniel Jones because they want execution pre-snap, meaning Daniel Jones, or a quarterback in this case, as they talked about at that time, to get the team offensively in the right spots and get the football to the right spots. But a lot of this was the pre-snap ability. And there have not in the past been a lot of instances where this team has been accurate in about their assessment and what they want and what they're calling for. That has been 100% accurate. Daniel's Vineyard is the Indy 500 of vineyards in Indy. The biggest and the best. You got to do a live remote from there. You guys are loving it. I might come out to watch you suck at pickleball just as much as Richardson. Well, that's brutal. I don't think I'm going to suck as bad as you guys believe. JMV, I've heard through the grapevine how Daniel Jones has been spotted in town at restaurants, high school games, and events. It's a great thing and goes well beyond his perceived personality. I don't remember anyone talking about that with Richard. I will say this. Richardson went to high school football games all the time. I don't think it's so much about the comparison with that aspect. You were just looking for a quarterback to play at a high level. That's what Jones has done. That's what he has done. A quick break, we'll come back. Anybody else want to sing? Got anybody else, James, on hold that wants to sing?
We do ironically have another Matthew on hold.
We do. So Matthew and Kelly with songs. Anybody else want to go on song? Boomer Esiason, can't miss analysis of Daniel Jones coming up at the top of the hour. Again, you'll want to make sure you hang tight for that. Stream the app, AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
With JMV.
You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of damn nerds.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
MGK. Is that Ruoff coming up next year, right? Make sure that that's accurate, though. I got number 9 at 239-1070. MGK.
Saturday, June 20th at Ruoff.
How about that? Already looking forward to next year. Anybody want to go? Anybody want to have tickets for June of next year? Number 9 at 239-1070. We'll go. On us. Thank you very much. MGK tickets for you. JMV, this is from Greg. Play Metallica's Whiskey in a Jar during the takeover. People with various tastes of music will love it. Best Metallica song, according to Steve. Shout out to Steve down in Mooresville. Fade to Black. I can get down with those on a whatever weekend. JMV, did Matthew call Hammer and Nigel? He did. JMV, more on Boomer and Gio. They're showing the Fan. I watched for the first 10 minutes before and after the Pacers games, and now every Monday AM, hilarious. Quote, Boomer and Gio have been highly critical of Daniel Jones, with Boomer Esiason often calling him a dead man walking and questioning his toughness and flatliner playing style, particularly after tough losses and injuries in 2023. While Gio disagreed on some points, but also questioned his lack of a chip on his shoulder and the team's commitment to him overall. That's from Ben. Boomer Esiason and his thoughts on Daniel Jones comes at you here. You don't want to miss that. At the top of the hour, 239-1070 is that number. Win Schuler's Spreadability. Make sure you get it in your favorite grocer's refrigerator. Win Schuler's favorite cheese is back for the football season of 2025 here in Central Indiana. Matthew is next. Hello, Matthew. How are you?
Good, you?
Great. Go ahead, Matthew.
Turn it up. It's time to see sports talk rolling on the frequency. From Indy Town to all the fans, JMV's got the mic in his hands. The ride with JMV. Sports and talk where you want to be. Colts and Pacers are all the news you need on the ride with JMV.
Matthew, thank you very much. Everybody's got a song ready for today. It's like the last 3, 2 Matthews and 1 Kelly with a song ready for the show.
We just have a whole musical hour going on right here.
Let me tell you this. People are putting work into it. Let me see if Reggie can make it 4 for 4 and having a song ready for the show. Reggie, what do you got?
Hey, this is Homer Reggie, man. I got kicked out of the church choir. I had to go to the usher board because I can't sing and I can't rhyme. So you're out of luck on that one, buddy.
Dang, man. The streak ends at 3 with Reggie. Go ahead, Reggie.
Man, I'm so mad at myself, man, because, I call myself Homer Reggie.
Yep.
And I wanted to believe in AR. I wanted the coach to win, but I wanted Daniels to play good. And I'm like, golly, he going to make me like him because he's playing good. I'm like, man, I don't need this. So he didn't convert me. I like him. Let's keep AR because I think eventually AR is going to be a good quarterback. And then I saw a little clip. I didn't know if you saw it. Pascal was giving a pep talk to the Pacers. I guess they had a little get-together for training camp.
Yep.
And, man, he is really a leader. He said, hey, set a screen. Go out there and rebound, man. That made me want to go out there and play ball for him and stuff.
Yep.
So I just wanted to get your thoughts about that.
Well, listen, I am, and not a lot of people out there are believing in the Pacers as I do. Because of the Halliburton loss for the season, because Miles decides to go to Milwaukee. Everybody, for the most part, has written them off. I have not. And if you remember, I was the one that believed in them a year ago. I believed in them to run it back. They ran it back and went 7 games deep into the NBA Finals. Massive losses, especially with Halliburton. Don't get me wrong. But being competitive is absolutely what I expect. And damn straight, I cannot wait to watch. I just have no idea how we're watching it yet, do we? Do we know exactly how we're able to watch it? Is it still the FanDuel network with JJ and Chris and Quinn? Or am I going to get jacked around on this again?
If I was a betting man, I'd say you're probably going to get jacked around.
I don't want to get jacked around. Quick break. We'll come back. Your calls, Heart tickets for the Fishers Event Center. coming up in March. Great venue, great band. Give you a chance to win those tickets. More bullseye if you just happen to be going to Southern California. Seriously, I am shocked about the number of folks that are going out there. The Rams VIP tailgate with our friend Kyle Kinnett. Your chance to win a couple of passes to that if you are going. And you will want to hear this from the fan in New York, formerly of CBS of Westwood One, the longtime NFL quarterback, saw 6 seasons of Daniel Jones up close and personal in New York City. Boomer Esiason and his thoughts on the transition of Daniel Jones through the first 3 weeks of the season. Boomer Esiason is going to join us next. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries.
It's quite pungent. It stings the nostrils.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow's show is Pickle on Pen, and we're going to play pickleball. We're going to drink a little bit, be live in the kitchen. Daniel's Vineyard will be there with us. And we have gained a great deal of response about those of you that will join us on the show tomorrow. Can't wait to see you in Carmel. Pickle on Pen. I'm going to try to get there in the noon hour at some point and play a little pickleball, then do the show, and we'll see what happens coming up afterwards. Pickle on Pen tomorrow, and Daniel's Vineyard will be a part of it. Inside the kitchen, pickleball, and some fun to be had by all of us. We need it. Actually, that is the beginning of 3 straight days of incredible levels of fun with the show. Pickle on Pen tomorrow. Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots on Thursday. That is at the Slippery Noodle downtown. And Friday, Behringer's Tavern on South Meridian, the legendary. I mean, we got 3 legendary locations coming up this week. Behringer's Tavern, Bud Light Blue Friday, Raiders Colts tickets to give away on Friday. Hellaciously awesome fun. Fever tonight, 9:15. That is your pregame coverage with Eddie Garrison right here on The Fan. 9:30 is the tip. They're underway in Vegas, Game 2 of the WNBA semifinals. They're up a game in that best of 5. Stranglehold that bad boy with a win later on tonight. Baseball fans, I know, stretch run of the season, the final 2 series of the regular season in Major League Baseball. Reds and the Mets tied for that final NL wildcard spot. The Reds at home tonight at 6:40 versus the Pirates. Brady Singer has won 14 for the Reds. He gets the ball. Meantime, Mets on the road at the Cubs. And the Cubs come off being swept by the Reds over the weekend. Peterson v. Horton is the pitching matchup at Wrigley at 7:40. So it is very important for the Cubs not to jack around here. Do kind of what you did for me when you played the Reds. The first reason that I liked the Cubs basically and forever was because of this past weekend. Continue it into the first game of this midweek series later on tonight. 7:40 is that matchup. And I know some of you are even watching the Diamondbacks, and Diamondbacks maybe sneaking in the back door of that final NL wild card. Dodgers and Arizona tonight, 9:40 is out in Phoenix, if you are paying attention to that. Certainly Reds fans, see, this would be so Reds to get all of us incredibly excited. And then to let us down in a thud type of fashion. True. Just like him. JMV, probably too early to say. You think Daniel Jones is in the running for MVP? I gave him the MVP after week number 1, I think. Still a lot of season to go. I'm at a position right now where I'm going to tell you to soak it up. And the best gauge so far is going to be on Sunday on the road in L.A. When you think about the Rams should have won that game in Philly with the defending champions and didn't. Offensively, very good. You know about Stafford at quarterback, Nakua at wide receiver, Williams at running back, Jared Verse, one of the better linebackers, one of the better defensive players of the NFL. Yeah, this is going to be difficult for him. But the best gauge so far, to be real about it. Text line 317-239-1070. JMV, most people think pickleball is fairly new, but I did a student teaching lesson on pickleball back in 1986. I think I saw on an episode of Jeopardy I was watching last night, some dude said he was playing pickleball back in the 80s before it became popular. Bonnie from South Florida. Bonnie, thank you very much. Jeremy from Cicero says, Irish fans calling in butthurt. IU back to the postseason, Indy not. That's from yesterday, I think. Did you not call that in yesterday, Jeremy? Thank you. JMV, as a Cubs fan, I'm here for the Mets to knock the Reds out. Nothing would make me happier than to see them not make the postseason. Well, then my love for the Cubs will end after a weekend sweep in Cincinnati by the Reds. All right, meantime, you saw him last night on Monday Night Football on the Manning Cast. He's been excellent through the first 3 weeks of the season. And joining us now, somebody that probably would know more about Daniel Jones and his first 6 seasons in New York than anybody out there, the former NFL quarterback. You have seen him on a variety of platforms, WFAN in New York, Mornings, Boomer and Geo, and Boomer Esiason is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Boomer, thank you for the time. How are you?
Hey, Johnny, it's great to talk to you again, and I'm doing well, and I wish I was doing as well as Daniel Jones is doing, but nonetheless doing okay here in New York.
Well, I want to start, Boomer, with Daniel Jones. It's been a thumbnail sketch of 3 games so far, but what has been your impression compared to the 6 years and 20 games under 500 you witnessed when he was playing for the Giants?
Well, first and foremost, he looks healthy. He looks great. Second thing is I would say he looks more comfortable than he ever looked here. There was a moment here where he did lead the Giants to the playoffs, and he played a road playoff game against Minnesota, which was probably his best game he'd ever played as a Giant, and he got that 2-year contract extension right after that. But, you know, the Giants and even John Mara, the owner, came out and said in the middle of his time here that they have screwed him up 6 ways to Sunday, meaning that they kept changing coaches, offensive schemes, bringing in different players. And even though he had Saquon Barkley in the backfield, I don't think he ever really had truly a great offensive line. So, plus it was New York. He's under the spotlight, and he had 3 significant injuries that derailed, whatever success that he was trying to build here. So I think it was time for a new environment, time to go see something else, time to get away from here. And when he did ask for his release last year and he went to Minnesota and sat behind Sam Darnold and watched Kevin O'Connell and Sam Darnold do their thing last year, I think that really gave him a different perspective than the perspective he had here in New York. And then when he surveyed the landscape of the NFL and was looking for a place where he would have an opportunity to start, Indianapolis presented the absolute perfect place because Anthony Richardson is not ready to be a professional quarterback in my eyes. So I think he probably saw the same thing, and he also saw an underrated roster, which Chris Ballard has built over the last 6 or 7 years, that is being led by a quality offensive line, quality wide receivers, and right now a guy who you could say is one of the best running backs in the NFL, in Jonathan Taylor.
It's Boomer Esiason from the Fan in New York. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. So does this at all, the level of play just at all through these 3 games, does it surprise you, or did you expect that with this particular Boomer change of scenery?
I can't really say that I expected it. I expected him to be the starter when I found out, when he signed there. There was no way that Anthony Richardson was going to beat him out. And you have to remember that Shane Steichen is an offensive coach. And, all he needed was a quarterback that was able to be a professional quarterback, act like one, and gain the respect of everybody on the team. And that is exactly what Daniel Jones had here when he was with New York, and certainly he has that there in Indianapolis. He's not a gregarious guy, doesn't come off as a gregarious guy at all. He is not a guy that is going to light up a room when he walks into it. But I will say this. He is truly a professional. He took the slings and arrows here like nobody I'd ever seen before, and he handled it with great professionalism, never got in any sort of trouble, never really got himself. The arguments around Daniel Jones were basically coming from the fan base. Like, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? And I think John Mara, the owner of the Giants, tried to quell a lot of that by taking the onus on himself and some of the decisions that he had made in regard to the coaches around Daniel Jones. So while I am pleasantly surprised that, he's completing as many passes as he's completing, he's not turning the ball over, he's not hurt. All of those things mean that, maybe he's going through what Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Geno Smith all went through when they left their original teams and finally hooked on with where they are now. And that is just a growing, I guess you would say, attention to detail, which he was always that type of guy, but a maturity level that has really, I think, galvanized him and given him that lizard skin that all quarterbacks need to be able to get through the down times in your career.
Boomer, you mentioned 2022. From what you've witnessed, at least from a side view of these first three games, is there a lot you can compare to what you witnessed in that 2022 season where he was so good, especially as you mentioned going into the postseason, compared to the first three games here in Indy?
Yeah, I think we all thought that, Brian Daboll was going to unlock him kind of like Brian Daboll did for Josh Allen in Buffalo before he became the head coach here. And what was really interesting, after they won that playoff game against Indianapolis, they ended up going on the road to Philadelphia and getting hammered. And they had to come up with a contract solution for him because he was, he needed a new contract. And when they gave him a two-year, $82 million deal, people around here were shocked with that number, and from that point on, it was nothing but injury and inconsistency. And to me, it looked like he was a little bit nervous and felt like, maybe he had to, carry the team. But now I see maybe this is a soft landing spot for him. Maybe they start against some of the teams that you guys have played, although I would tell you that Denver is still a very good team, and that defense is a very good defense, and he actually put up numbers against that defense. So it tells me that he seems really comfortable. I don't know if he'll keep it up to this level, but I know one thing. He gives Shane Steichen a level of comfort and confidence being able to call the entire playbook because he knows the playbook. He'll know the formations. He'll know the personnel groups. He'll be able to read defenses. And the better he gets, the more confident he becomes. I think, hopefully he'll have that kind of year where maybe he gets comeback player of the year, or maybe he gets a Pro Bowl, which he's on the way to be doing right now.
He is Boomer Esiason, the former NFL quarterback, WFAN in New York in the morning. You can listen to him as well. Always some great insight. It's funny, too. I talked to Michael Pittman Jr. on the show last week, and he had mentioned the infusion of confidence that the decision-making, pre-snap decision-making, Boomer, that even Daniel Jones has given this offense. And you mentioned the confidence in Daniel Jones. I think you can see the confidence in the other offensive players, especially the skill position weapons that is upped because they know that the quarterback knows where this thing is going and is directing them rightly so.
I'm just telling you that the most important thing for a quarterback is to be able to communicate in really quick sound bites and know the offense, know the formations, know the checks at the line of scrimmage. If the quarterback doesn't know what he's doing, then that affects the other 10 guys adversely. Nobody trusts the guy standing behind them. And that's, I don't want to kill Anthony Richardson, but that's the immaturity of a young player who thinks I could just throw my athletic body out on the field and go play football. It doesn't work that way. You have to know everything that's going on in that offense, and to a point where, even when the coach is calling the play, that you can actually predict what the play is going to be called because you're so well versed in that offense. I'm assuming that Daniel's getting better each and every week in that regard and giving Shane Steichen even more confidence to call all sorts of different plays. And maybe even Daniel is getting a little shocked at some of the plays that they're calling, especially when the game is on the line, the game is tight, and all of a sudden, we saw Detroit do this last night. It was a 4th and 2. There was no doubt that Dan Campbell was going to go for it. They had the lead. They could have punted, but they didn't. They went for it, and they won the game. And I don't think that Jared Goff is surprised by anything Dan Campbell does anymore because they spent the last 4 years together. So maybe that's the relationship that's being built right now with Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen. And the more that happens, guys like Michael Pittman and Jonathan Taylor are all going to appreciate playing with a professional quarterback who knows what he's doing, and he'll bring the best out of those players. And I think that's what you're seeing in Indianapolis, at least now, especially against some of the teams they played. I know 2 of the 3 teams they played they should have beaten, and they did. And maybe we would have said maybe 4 or 5 years ago that might not have been the case, but they're winning the games they're supposed to win, and I think that home field advantage for Indianapolis is going to become a thing again if they can continue to win.
Well, and you look at Houston that starts 0-3, and the other aspect, we know around here, Boomer, how it is to have the highest level of quarterbacking and then to not know what the hell you're doing at that position. And people are still in a wait-and-see mode, but they're excited about what they see because it has been so high-level good. And I will say this, Boomer, it's not Daniel Jones doing stuff that Daniel Jones has never done before. It's just him playing consistently at a level in which people have wanted to see around here since Andrew Luck or maybe even one season of Phillip Rivers, and it's a feel-good no matter where we are in the season.
Oh, 100%. And the fact that he has Jonathan Taylor back there and he's slamming it up in there and gaining over 100 yards a game. Now you got play action passing, you got 7-man protection, you're taking a lot of some of the guesswork out of the quarterback's mindset and just letting him play football. And that's probably the best thing that I see as I don't know how when he first started, I was wondering whether or not he was going to be confident. And now watching 3 games in a row and watching some of these throws that he's making and seeing the pocket around him, like he's been protected pretty well. We all have to admit that, I think. And the fact that he's not turning the ball over is the biggest thing that I see. I hope, he's past his injury history and he can stay healthy for 17 games. And the more comfortable he gets with Shane's offense, the better, he should be able to protect himself and not take the hits that he took here when he was with the Giants trying to prove to everybody that he was a tough player. We all know that. But, as long as he protects himself and they continue to build on his confidence and these players can stay healthy around him, I don't see why they can't win the AFC South. I mean, they're out to a great start, and there's nothing. And we'll find out this week. They got a tough game this week.
They do.
Once again, we'll see whether or not he can continue to do what he's doing here, and I don't see why he can't.
And they got incredibly fortunate in week 2 against Denver with a leverage call there at the end too to get them closer. Which
it's a little bit of that's the NFL. It's a little bit of luck here and there, a break here or there, and then whatever you make of that break. You decide that, and the fact that they were able to kick the field goal as opposed to having the missed field goal, that's the difference against, in this league between two teams that are very, very similar to each other.
It's funny you mentioned that too, because when you're good and you're getting positive results, it is interesting how often good fortune rides shotgun with you. And listen, all we have to do is look back in the spring with this Pacer team. They were playing well, they got results, and then good fortune up until Game 7 of the NBA Finals. It rode shotgun with them. It's amazing how often that happens, and the two go along.
Well, that is just the momentum of professional sports, or any sport for that matter. It could be college as well. I mean, once you start to believe that you can actually be good and do something special, I'm sure there have been a couple of plays here in the first 3 games for the Indianapolis Colts on offense especially, where they have done things that they haven't done in a couple of years, and it could be a 3rd down and 4 crunch time play. It could be a bounce run by, Jonathan Taylor or Michael Pittman Jr. making a great catch over the middle. It could, a Ty Warren. I mean, what an addition. So, I mean, there are a lot of little things that have gone on here now these first 3 weeks that you guys haven't seen in at least 3 years. So, I mean, and a lot of that has to do with the quarterback that is trying to find his career again. And maybe he and the head coach, that marriage is exactly what Daniel Jones needed to reignite himself.
All right, Boomer, before I let you go, we're talking about the reclamation projects. We have seen you mention Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, and we're talking about Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson, do you think he can chart a similar path, or is it going to be more difficult in your estimation for him to do that?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to really predict that because you just never know how a player deals with the disappointment that I'm sure he's dealing with. But part of that is his own fault. And what I mean by is that, sometimes players, depending on who they are and where they come from, don't know what they don't know. And what I mean by that is that they're not really sure about how to prepare, or they're not really sure what a true leader looks like. And, I just think that the best thing that Anthony Richardson can do now is do exactly what Daniel Jones did last year when he went to Minnesota. You sit, you watch, you learn, and you take everything you possibly can, absorb it as much as you can, and then hopefully your brain catches up to your athleticism when you're playing the most important position in sport, and that is quarterback, where they have to marry each other. You can't have one without the other. In other words, you could have a great brain and you could have a broken leg. You can't play. So it's all got to match up, and hopefully he's learning a lot by sitting there and listening to Daniel Jones in these meetings. It's a valuable resource for that young man. And whether or not he's going to go on and become a good quarterback in this league, only he'll be able to determine that, and whether or not he wants to dive into it the way he needs to.
Does it hurt the feelings of Giant fans to see this happen in the first 3 weeks here with Daniel Jones?
I don't know if it hurts the feelings, but I think it's a referendum of the organization here.
Yeah.
Because Saquon Barkley left last year and had over 2,000 yards and went to the Super Bowl and had a phenomenal season. And now Daniel Jones leaves here, and he goes to Indianapolis, and he's in the midst of a phenomenal season. So now what Giant fans are wondering is whether or not, the Joe Shane, Brian Daboll era are the future of the Giants, and is the ownership, making the right decisions, or are they hiring the right coaches? So I think that's more of the questions that Giant fans have as opposed to the emotions that maybe. I think a lot of Giant fans are actually happy for Daniel Jones, because I know a lot of Giant fans were very happy for Saquon Barkley last year. So I would see a very similar situation right now unfolding in Indianapolis.
The legendary 66 AM in New York, also 101.9 Sports Radio, The Fan in New York, and equally as legendary as a player, as a broadcaster, as a multifaceted host, and Boomer Esiason's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Man, Boomer, thank you very much for hanging with us today, and if you don't mind, we may creep back into your life at some point later on in the season and see how things are going, and if we can still describe the situation in similar fashion. How about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Daniel Jones. He's an easy guy to root for, and I'm glad to see that he's off to a great start. Let's hope that it continues, and we can talk when you guys are 8-0, all right?
You got it. Boomer, man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
All right, Johnny. See you, bud. Bye-bye.
It's Boomer Esiason on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Really good stuff right there. Podcast that one up, James. Boomer Esiason from The Fan in New York City. Also has been a part of the NFL Today in the past, Westwood One's Monday night broadcast, to just all of the stuff. Just a broadcaster across the board in a variety of ways. Hey, this reminder, Pickle on Penn tomorrow, and Steve Bodner actually did reach out to the station. I'm going to play a little bit tomorrow. So I'm going to play a little bit tomorrow. I'm going to be in the kitchen area, and I've been explaining this all day and a little bit more for you coming up. But I'll be in the kitchen, the bar, the bar. I want to drink a little beer, and for the first time ever, play some pickleball at Indy's premier pickleball destination location, that is Pickle on Penn. You guys all have to join me tomorrow. This is going to start a week in which Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we are going to have a hell of a lot of road fun. Promise. That's tomorrow, Pickle on Penn. Join us. We have Heart tickets to give away for their show coming up in March at the Fishers Event Center. Don't go anywhere. The stream, the app, it's HD Radio, the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live at 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Pants is cool. Consider me Miles Davis.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Boomer Esiason podcast 1075thefan.com if you missed any of it. Coming up in March, Hart will play the Fishers Event Center, which is a fantastic venue. Would you like to go? The legendary classic rock band Hart from Seattle, Washington. Number 9 at 239-1070 Fishers Event Center. You can get a couple of tickets and you can go on us. Number 9 at 239-1070 is the winner. Dave Hammer writes this from Greenwood. We really need to see a YouTube feed of JMV playing pickleball, even if you record it and post it, maybe an episode later for the viewing pleasure. I would not mind to do some video of me playing pickleball. I may, as it stands, get dragged into playing some hoop after all tonight, which is probably going to be incredibly ill-advised. But when it's ill-advised, it's normally me. We'll see. JMV, great interview with Boomer. He's a pro, and don't miss him. Oh, and I do miss him, sorry, on the NFL Today. Thank you for that. JMV, if you're new to pickleball, just tell them, quote, I normally play on clay, but I can make this work. End quote. I think you really know your stuff, Jason V. I was thinking about using the clay court surface as an excuse for real. JMV, all the talking heads said Daniel Jones was a terrible quarterback and a bust for 6 years now. 3 good games. They're all knew that he'd be great. All he needed was a new team. LMAO. These guys switch narratives like underwear. They're never wrong, Harkin. I said fire everybody in January. How does that sound? Like everybody. Everybody can go. JMV, have you heard about Miles McLaughlin from Knox, Indiana? I believe Greg Rakestraw has mentioned him on this show before. Leading the entire country with rushing yards. 1,649. He is on a path to break Charlie Spiegel. I believe Charlie is from New Pal, right? The state rushing record, indeed, from New Pal. And Greg Rakestraw has brought that up here before, but thank you for doing the same right there. Now, well done out of you. Hey, a couple of news items today. John Mateer, by the way, we brought him up because Fernando Mendoza is now being mentioned there in the hierarchy of Heisman candidates. The IU quarterback, Mateer is there too. Mateer broke his hand. He's going to miss a month for the Sooners. Dante Moore, another with Oregon. Oregon on the road in Happy Valley versus Penn State this weekend. Carson Beck, Miami. Just think some of the other quarterbacks. I don't know about saying of Ohio State. He may be there. Among the power-ranked quarterbacks, those would be at the top of the list right there. Mateer is going to be out for at least a month. Michael said, Boomer was the perfect guest this week. Thanks for the listen in the pod. 6 years he had seen Daniel Jones. Thought it was a pretty good angle. We'll get him back on as well. I thought he was really good. Boomer Esiason from earlier today. Pickle on Penn coming up on the show tomorrow. I'll tell you more in just a bit. Oklahoma State fired longtime head coach Mike Gundy earlier today, of course. The author of I'm a Man, I'm 40, one of the greatest rants of all time. He's a former quarterback there, too. The Giants have benched Russell Wilson, and Jackson Dart, the rookie, will start coming up this weekend. How about this? I was a bit surprised on this. I guess I'm more surprised that it didn't work out. Former Eagle, the safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson, after 3 games, has been released by the Texans. They're going through all sorts of issues right now and facing the must-win of must-win situations against Tennessee this weekend. We know this to be true because it is now going to happen. Major League Baseball has approved robot umpires for the 2026 season as a part of the challenge system. So, MLB will implement a challenge system for balls and strikes coming up next year after the league's competition committee voted today to usher in the era of robot umpiring. Are we thumbs up or thumbs down? Following this year's testing in minor league baseball, as well as during spring training and at the All-Star game, Major League Baseball decided to move ahead with a system that will give teams 2 challenges per game. Hitters, pitchers, and catchers will be the only ones allowed to trigger the system by tapping their head. And if a challenge is successful, the pitch will be shown on in-stadium video boards. Teams will retain it. So there you go. Is that kind of like the Hawkeye use that you see in tennis? It's coming. JMV, I played pickleball at Pickle on Penn, and I've eaten in the kitchen. It is a great place. Food, high quality. And by the way, too, Daniel's Vineyard's going to be there with us coming up tomorrow. Hopefully you can make a stop. Pickle on Penn and Carmel is our destination coming up on tomorrow's show. Hey, I know we have the Harris Hoosier Park race of the day. I'm kind of afraid, James, I don't have enough time on the other side. I know Fulton's been on hold right here at 239-1070. Hey, Fulton, welcome to the show. How are you, brother?
Doing all right, John. How you doing?
Did you go to the dentist today, Fulton?
Yes, I did.
What happened there? Did you have a molar removed? Is everything okay?
No. Everything's okay, but the dentist fee is going to be like $4,000.
What? For what? They do a lot of work for you, Fulton?
I hope not. I don't know because they're going to take that tooth out or something. But
okay.
November.
Well, I hope everything's okay, buddy.
Yeah. So, anyways, I got a big interview tonight on my channel.
Okay.
You're welcome to come on to it.
Big interview on your channel tonight.
Yep. It's a musical special guest star. The Time Travelers band from the Pork Festival, Tipton County Pork Festival.
Oh, okay.
They do like 80s, 70s, and 60s. And they actually do pop, rock, and country, so...
Well done out of you. What's your channel?
It's called Mr. Fulton Moraz.
Makes sense. All right, then. Yep. Fulton, I'm glad you're back from the dentist, and have fun on your interview tonight, buddy.
I sure will. Make sure you come and see it.
Check it out. Fun. That's Mr. Fulton Moraz right there. Thank you, Fulton. Matt's got a small business.
Hey, how's it going?
Conversation he wants to bring up. Hello, Matt.
Hey, so I create keychains and earrings of sports teams.
Did you say keychains and earrings, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
And I am selling them for $10 a keychain.
Okay.
And $12 per earring.
Okay.
And if anyone is interested, please feel free to call. And I do custom ones. I do cartoon ones, pet ones. I do any kind of keychain or anything that you'd like. Earrings, keychains.
Okay.
And it's all and it's made out of shrinky dinks. You know those things that you used to draw on and put in the oven?
Okay. Makes sense.
And I was
That's a heck of a funny name. I almost giggled when you said it.
I know, right? But if anyone would be interested in getting a shrinky dink necklace, earring or keychain, reach out to me, 317-494-8438.
Okay. You don't mind? I guess you don't because you just did it. You don't mind giving your number on the air here?
No.
Okay. Go ahead and give it to him one more time then, Matt. Shrinky dink.
Okay. Just call today to get your Shrinky Dink keychain and earring. 317-494-8438. Again, that number is 317-494-8438.
Professionally done by Matthew right there. Is that Matt or Matt? Is that Matthew or Matt? That's a different Matt, isn't it, than Cole?
I think it's a different Matt. He gave his name as Matt, unlike the other two.
Shrinky dinks make me laugh. I cannot lie. JMV, I really enjoyed Boomer Esiason. Where's the podcast? 1075thefan.com is the location of the podcast. Nate Atkins on tomorrow. He covers the Rams now, right, for The Athletic?
He's on at 3:30.
Nate Atkins in L.A. I wonder how that's going. I wonder if he's on the cool dude scene out there in L.A., Nate Atkins.
He's rubbing elbows with all these stars now.
So the Fever look to go up 2-0, best of 5. Semifinal round series with Vegas. Game 2 tonight in Las Vegas. 9:30 the tip. 9:15 your coverage starts with Eddie Garrison right here later on tonight. The WNBA playoff semifinals. We'll see if the Fever can go up 2-0. Tomorrow, Pickle on Pin. I have many of you suggesting you will join us. Hopefully that is the case. I'll remind you of that coming up on the other side. Rest of the week is on location, too. A lot of can't-miss dates for you. Right now, 50 in betting, 50 in dining, Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino in Anderson, the Tuesday edition. Are you ready? Are you ready to win? We'll see if you do. The Harrah's Hoosier Park Race of the Day.
and stupid gesture be done on somebody's part. We're just the guys to do it.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
So you think I need a shrinky-dink earring? You guys do know that I have... Do you have an earring hole over there?
I do not know.
I do. I have not utilized it in years.
Is it still,
decades.
Is it still there? Does it not heal?
I don't know. Let's see. No, I turned off the mic. I don't know why I did that. I think it's still there.
Oh.
I just haven't... I don't think I've had anything in it. I used to wear a hoop like Michael Jordan did back in the 90s all the time. A gold hoop. 1987. I am... And I know a lot of you out there, certainly of my age, we are of the Brotherhood of Claire's Boutique. Ear piercing. The Brotherhood of Claire's. Who out there, let me see a show of hands. The Brotherhood of Claire's ear piercing. There's probably a sisterhood out there too, I'd imagine.
Oh, definitely for that.
But I am in the Brotherhood of Claire's Boutique in the Bloomington College Mall. The summer of 1987. In fact, I forgot, and I had a gold ball in when I got my senior pictures taken. And all my senior pictures had a gold ball earring.
How'd your mom feel about that?
My mom, I had to run. Actually, I had to run stair laps. My coaches made me run back in high school because I had my ear pierced. Yeah.
Nice.
They didn't like it. Probably they thought I was fat too, but yeah. You have an earring and you're fat, so yeah, get up there and run. Problem. Your Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day, 50 in betting, 50 in dining, Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino in Anderson. We do it Tuesday through Friday right here. Mike Gary, the winner. Evil Eye Flegel, $17.40 on a $2 bet. The $2 exacta was $110.60. The 50-cent trifecta, $93. Mike Gary, the winner, the Tuesday edition, the Harrah's Hoosier Park race of the day. We'll do it again tomorrow. 50 in betting, 50 in dining, Harrah's Hoosier Park Racing and Casino. That's in Anderson. And horse racing now through November at Harrah's Hoosier Park in Anderson. Shout out to Tony Renz and all our friends at Harrah's. The Brotherhood of Claire's Boutique. I probably could still stuff an earring down that earring hole, I would imagine. I've just not tried. And back then, I don't know about that. You were edgy. Getting your ear pierced for a dude in 1987 was edgy.
According to the internet, earring holes can close up. So, I mean, you may need to...
be, yeah. I may not have to pop something. I just don't know if I want to, but it was edgy. I was edgy back then. Yeah, I went out. This is a true story. I remember this vividly. And the August 1987, I go out and play par 3 golf at the Bloomington par 3. They used to be next to what was the YNW. You guys know it, Lower Cascade area, right? As you exit town. So the Bloomington par 3, it has lights and everything. Really spooky at night sometimes too, because the fog, the fog will be so low that you can hit the golf ball into the fog and then out of it and then back through it again. But it was a par 3. We were playing par 3. And my friend David Hayes and I said, hey, let's go get our ears pierced. Okay. Claire's Boutique.
Oh, so this was just done on a whim.
On a whim. I had to run for it, too. And it was a combination. Yeah, you got to run because you got your ear pierced, and that's not cool of you. And you're fat. You're also fat and out of shape, so get to running. And then you also don't get home on time, and you miss curfew and all this other stuff I did back then. Win Schuler's Spreadability, that's what we do nowadays. The Spreadability comes in original, sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, and jalapeno pepper, and the Spreadability is back for the football season of 2025. And a shout out to the Prez, Bob Nunez, who actually paid a visit to me and said, we want the Spreadability to sweep Central Indiana once again. Meijer locations, we have heard Meijer and Carmel, Meijer and Avon, Meijer and Muncie. I have seen it twice now at the Meijer location in Greenwood on 135 and the Gordon Food Service location on US 31 in Greenwood. But if you find the spreadability, make sure we know where it is. We want to make sure we direct people to the spreadability, the snacking genius that is Win Schuler's cheese spreads. Take a picture at JMV 1070, send it to me. Hey, tomorrow, Carmel's premier pickleball club is Pickle on Pin. Inside the kitchen, Daniel's Vineyard will be there too. I know that Maddie is excited. I know that Steve Bodner's excited. Let's get everybody involved. Kelly sang a song a little bit earlier. Kelly's clearly excited. I'll be there, and for the first time ever tomorrow, the plan is to play pickleball. I'm going to try to get there myself between noon and 12:30 to play a little bit beforehand tomorrow. A little pickleball tomorrow at Pickle on Pin, but we're going to do the show live and have a great time. Hopefully you guys all come out and join us. In fact, Pickle on Pin tomorrow with Daniel's Vineyard in Carmel. Thursday, we're going to be at the Slippery Noodle downtown. That's Brent Halverson, Larceny Bourbon Locks, Luna Azul Tequila Shots for week number 4 of the NFL season. Friday, Bud Light Blue Friday at Behringer's Tavern on South Meridian. JMV, an earring at your age would go along. And this, I think Dean and Broad Ripple's onto something right here. This is accurate. See, I'm always talking about how I've made that transition into a significant level of douchiness. So, I mean, I am transitioning into douche right now. An earring at your age would go along with your newfound douchiness.
You'll have to get an earring and then also buy like a Ford Mustang convertible, bright red type thing. Really lean into the midlife crisis type thing.
Well, whatever I buy would have to be for Amy and Moore GMC.
That's fair, yeah, that's fair.
That's true. And Fisher's, Eric Wilson. But, yeah.
I'm sure he's got plenty of midlife crisis selection
I'm
for
sure
you.
that they have a midlife crisis douchiness selection for me up there. Thank you very much. Yeah, right now I'm down the middle with the GMC Acadia. It's like the family vehicle. Yeah, I don't know what that level might be of the ear-piercing douchiness. Maybe we can get back to it. JMV, I'm sure the gold hoop earring went well with the turtleneck and the gold chain on the outside of the turtleneck. I'm serious. I looked exactly like, and that's what somebody said once upon a time at Hooligans in Bloomington, 1991. You look exactly like the lead singer of Color Me Bad. At the time, that was like a compliment. Now, maybe not so much. James, great job out of you today. I want to thank everybody. Pickle on Pin tomorrow. You guys got to join me. I cannot wait to see you. I'm going to arrive between noon and 12:30. The show there live. Daniel's Vineyard will be there. The great food in the kitchen. Pickle on Pin tomorrow. Greg Rakestraw, Jake Arthur, Boomer Esiason, the podcast at 1075thefan.com. Pickle on Pin on a Wednesday tomorrow at 3. Cannot wait. Fever tonight at 9:30.